for allegedly airing her movies without proper licensing. Speaking on United Showbiz on April 26, 2025, Ola Michael blamed the MPP for neglecting the Film Act and the Broadcasting Bill, both passed in 2016 under former President John Maham's administration. We pursued the Broadcasting Bill for so long, yet the MPP wasted 8 years without enforcing it. If they were serious about the creative arts, we wouldn't be facing these issues today, he said. Michael explained that the Film Act required media houses to obtain licensing agreements before airing foreign films, with penalties for violations. However, he claimed that the MPP failed to implement the law, allowing unchecked piracy and an influx of foreign content on Ghanaian scenes. If that law were being enforced, any media house that aired a Hollywood or Nollywood movie without a license could be closed down. But when the MPP came into power, they never enforced the law and it was left useless. If that law were working, we will not be having this problem today. That was what Ola Michael quoted. He further stated that the law could have required media houses to allocate a percentage for their airtime to original Guinean content, which would have boosted local productions. Okay, let's speak with Ola Michael. Kwagwe!
Yay!
Not saying.
No more, brother. How's that?
I haven't heard or seen you in a very long time. I only see you on TV.
And I only see you on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. Miss Matthew, by God's grace, I'm doing very well. And congratulations, you are doing so well, man.
Hey, Brandy.
Oh, truly. A few days ago, I was watching you and how you were slamming Aisha and you together with my girlfriend, Abnamoe. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, I've been...
How did Abna become your girlfriend? Because
she's part of my girlfriend's list.
Really? I thought you were more into the back one, not the front side.
Master so. Your comment on the law, the Film Act that required media houses to obtain licensing agreements. You mentioned that the MPP failed to enact it, and so we are suffering, or hence the problem with media houses showing other movies freely without any punitive measures. Can you confirm you said that?
Yes, I did, boss. I did.
But why didn't it happen in the tenure of the MPP? Well, you mentioned that in the former JMJ, former JM. I don't want to say former JM. I do say she says JMJ. Forgive me. Yeah. You mentioned that.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, the line went off, but it's back.
Is it back? Okay, thank you. You mentioned that in the former JM administration, they pursued, or there was some pursuant of the for the law to be passed. But in the MPP, nothing happened. Why did it happen so? Could it be that the pursuit was stopped, or was anyone discouraged? What happened?
Well, there are two laws that we are talking about now. One is an act already, and the other one is a bill not passed yet. Now, the act is the Act 935, which is the Development and Classification of Film Act 2016. But the other one, which has not been passed yet, is the Broadcasting Bill. And the last revision was done, I think, in 2014, where it was supposed to have been passed. But this same Broadcasting Bill, Andy, during President Kufuor's time on, I don't know who
each year.
I don't know who are behind dragging it from being passed. Mostly, it will get close to Parliament. Sometimes even it has been to Parliament on the consideration, and then somehow somebody takes it out. I don't know. There's some sort of cartel behind trying to make sure this Broadcasting Bill never gets to be passed.
But what could be, if it wouldn't be passed, what would be their benefit? what would make someone or a cartel stop the broadcasting law passed? That's question one. Question two will be, if passed, what will be the benefits or advantages?
What
So
would
let's
make
start with
anybody
let's start
question
with the
one?
first one. Yes.
Yes, what will make anybody decide not to see the passage of the broadcasting bill could be that when we pass that bill, it's going to sort of direct contenting to a large extent on our airways, radio and TV. It's also going to make sure that certain things that are done and the way we do things on the airwaves would be changed. I would just plead that somebody gets to read the broadcasting bill, at least the third revision, which was in 2014. You realize that it also gives room for a larger percentage of local content on radio and TV. Do you get it? So if we're going to give that large percentage to local content, it means that broadcasters or broadcasting companies will have to invest more into local content than the cheap ones they are getting from outside and from Telegram and YouTube and pirated online sites. Do you get it? So I'm tempted to believe that this is the reason why some of them are struggling or fighting to make sure that we don't actually get to pass the bill. But that notwithstanding, even though they are doing that, there's another act that has been passed that can still or equally help to solve the problem, which is the Film Act, Act 936. I hope you understand.
Right.
So even though they've been fighting the passage of this broadcasting bill, we make sure we pass through another channel to pass the Film Act to also help to control the same content in issue. But unfortunately, the Film Act cannot help in the audio side or maybe music side, but it can work, and it's supposed to work perfectly for the audiovisual side. For example, the Film Act says that any audiovisual content that will be aired on any exhibition platform. Now, exhibition platform means that wherever you can watch it from.
Right.
It could be a social media platform, i.e. YouTube, Facebook, X, whatever. And also, it can also mean a cinema, and it can also mean a TV station or channel. Now, if you want to air any audiovisual content, you first need to have classified. Previously, during Nkrumah's time, it was a censorship board. Then, because of 92 Constitution, it changed because the Constitution doesn't allow censorship of any media work. It changed to classification. In fact, if you go to Nigeria, it is still a censorship, which is headed by the president, the sitting president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because they take it so serious. Now, if you take it to classification committee or board, that is where they will decide whether this thing can be aired or it cannot. That's the first part.
That's based on the year, which year group can watch.
Yeah, I'm coming to that part. That's the second part I was going to make. It also decides which group of people or age group can watch that particular content. And it also can decide when you can show that particular content. Now, the advantage with this one in helping to solve the piracy issue is that if you do not have a release license for that content that you have brought to be classified, it means automatically you can't classify it and you can't show it. And anything that has not been classified has no right being exhibited anywhere. So you see how consistent the law has been to help curtail this whole piracy thing? That is why I am so unhappy that we spent 8 years without enforcing this thing. 8 years with just fighting between heads within the NFA to make sure that this thing doesn't happen, just as the broadcasting bill has not happened. So with all these piracy issues going on, we have this law that can solve it, in fact, easily, if we had activated it, if we had had the right people in the helm of affairs to have done that. That was where Socrates was. And if you remember, or if you have chance on this, he was crying on Peace FM on Saturday that he was frustrated from working and he couldn't achieve anything with that department.
Okay, I wish I would ask him some few questions. Unfortunately, he's not here to answer. I'll try and reach out to him. However, let's look at solutions. What's the way forward?
I just gave the solution that first, let us use the National Film Authority to solve this problem. As we're doing that, let us also work with the Communication Ministry to make sure that channels that do not comply will be taken off. Because the law allows that if a channel or TV station does not comply, we can take the person to court. But before you take the person to court, you can seize the person's equipment to prevent the person from working. And this can only be done with the communication ministry as well. So the solution is there. We have the solution. We have drafted the solution. It's just about implementing it and getting the right people to implement it. That's all. The law is done. The LI is done. There's nothing more we are waiting for to solving this problem. So that is what I'm saying, that if this new government, this NDC, wants to solve this problem, let's use the National Film Authority, which has got the solution for now.
Have you been close to any of them?
Have I?
Have you been close to any of the NFA officials?
Oh, yeah. But Andy, I've been in and out of this NFA whole thing. Even in opposition, I had been part of the drafting of the laws and everything. Kafui was with us this Saturday. And
that's why I'm asking whether you've been close to it, because I think I saw the flyer. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch the program.
Yeah,
but what has she said yet?
Well, unfortunately for her, she has to work with the board. You see, the executive secretary actually mostly have to work under the instruction of the NFA board. So she hasn't got the board yet. That is what is making her not too strong in solving this issue. But I believe that by end of May, the board will be in place, and then they can begin to work. For now, she's doing the best that she can. You realize that she released a presser for the television channels that have been flouting the laws to desist from doing that and all that. So she's doing her best, but I'm sure that if we have the board, it will make it better.
Okay, away from that, let's get a bit personal. Now, have you seen TV stations showing these movies?
Andy, last week, even before these Nigerians started, last 2 weeks before these Nigerians issues came up, on our platforms, as in film producers' platforms, there are so many producers reporting, so many of them, and they report with screenshots and short videos of the TV channels that are showing their movies that have no right to do so. So we now have gathered over 100. It's supposed to be even 120 or 121 screenshots of TV stations that are showing people's movies for free. And I'm sure maybe they don't know it's criminal, but it is criminal.
Until a law is passed, are you saying that no action can be taken? Supposing they're showing the movie you have produced, what will be your action? I'm asking this because I had been at a function where a movie Yvonne Nelson had premiered a few days prior to seeing it on TV. A TV station was showing it. I took a screenshot and sent it to her, and she burst in tears. Like, really? How?
Oh, the individual producers can decide to take them on to court. You can also decide to take them to the copyright office. But I asked Frank Gabin to do that when he reported his own to me. I wanted to test something. So he took it to the copyright office in Kumasi. And the first thing they told him was that he should come and register the film with them. And I'm like, no, it's not. That is not a procedure. But they insisted that is the only way they will know it is his film. And I told him, no. The moment the thing is out there with your name and everything on it, you went through classification with your name on it, they don't even need to ask you to come and register before they will take any action. And his own has to do with somebody showing his movies on a Facebook page. The person actually took part 1 to 4, and he has shown 1 to 4.
Wow.
1 to 4 straight, with so many views. And other people are also actually cutting 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes of people's films and boosting their pages with these. These are all criminal. In the law, film is anything from 15 seconds. These are all criminal. So they try to use the copyright office. The copyright office is also handicapped financially. So the best option, I've told him, to go to court now, as we are looking at activating the NFA laws and the committees so they can now take over, while ASOC is also doing their part to see how they can also take some of these stations to court. That seems to be the only way now. Unfortunately, the last time we tried to even, go on a what do you call it? We used to call it task force action, where we go to places where they do the piracy and stuff and arrest them with the police. And the police also told us they didn't even know the law. They don't know there's a copyright law. They don't even know that it is wrong for anybody to copy anybody's work. So that is the challenge we are having. We probably need to put in more education and also enforce the law to arrest people to serve as scapegoat for others to stop. If not, there's no way we can solve it now until the NFA is fully activated.
Okay. Ola, thank you very much for talking to us. We'll see the way forward. However, if anything comes up, we'll knock on your door again. Thank you so much for this education and your thoughts.
I do say I did for you. Just that for full way, a long time way.
It go happen. One of these days. Why?
One of these days.
Right. Okay. Right. Listeners, that's filmmaker and media practitioner, media personnel, Ola Michael. Why are you looking at me like that?
I don't want you.
Okay. Please speak.
You are bombing so, but it's here from front of me. My voice. I mean, it's been a
because you talk
packed
weekend.
You
talk too much.
I mean, I had to MC a wedding in Mankasim on Saturday.
Guys,
then,
that is man.
I mean, just
Robert, you there? Yeah, which MC job you do?
Yesterday,
have you been to Mankasim before?
Yesterday too, I was at the underbridge to MC Mr. Police.
Yo.
So it's been a tough one. So
right.
It's here for Fancham.
You all asked about your thoughts.
Yeah, so if somebody's got business for MC-ship, they shouldn't call you.
MC-ship, I like that.
I know, because right now, like, you've lost the voice.
Oh, but if the cash comes, if I see the thing now, energy.
23,000.
I mean, this broadcasting, bro, and the Dusty, I don't know. I really don't know why. Because from 2014 to now, how many years? That is where the revised, even that 2014 was a revised one. And up to now, in January 2024, that's what the then minister said. Government is committed, that is Kojo Ponkroma, government is committed to laying the broadcasting bill before Parliament. Kojo Ponkroma, and this is on the ministry's own website. It says that the Minister for Information, Honorable Kojo Ponkroma, has affirmed government's commitment to ensure that the broadcasting bill is laid before Parliament. He stated that the government had demonstrated enough commitment in terms of laws to deal with free expression in the country. He cited the Right to Information Bill Act and implementation story. As an example, Honorable Oponkoma made the comments when he addressed a stakeholder engagement and research report launch organized by CDD Ghana. According to the minister, there were still emerging issues that have been raised for consideration following some correspondence received from the Attorney General in 2024, in the 2024 red-drafted version of the broadcasting bill. Meaning, in 2024, there was a red-drafted version. The minister explained that one of the reasons for the delay. One of the reasons for the delay in laying the bill before Parliament had to do with the definition of the word broadcasting. He revealed that in the last draft, broadcasting, which will be like in 2014, but there was a red drafted in 2024. He revealed that the last draft, broadcasting only referred to television without taking note of other forms of technology-led broadcasting. He also noted some other issues such as responsibility for moderating content in the media space. According to him, these issues have carefully been studied with a lot of stakeholders to get a certain common position. So there's a quote. So if you are on radio and television broadcasting applies to you. And you are responsible for moderating the content that comes out. So it says that if you are on television and radio, broadcasting applies to you, and you are responsible for moderating the content that come out. How about if you move that content to your Facebook page and somebody wrote under those posts to make comments you will not allow on radio and television? Be they defamatory or ethnic inciting, do the same rules apply? Shouldn't they apply? The minister said. So, what he's trying to say is that if you're on radio and television and say you open the phone lines, you can regulate what people are saying. Same way, if messages come, you can decide not to read. However, if the show goes on Facebook and somebody makes tribal comment among other things and you fail to, do the right thing like you do on radio, should the laws apply? Meaning, those things were not taken into consideration in the draft they have done. The minister questioned the responsibilities of the international bodies' social media platform with regards to ensuring that some sort of content which ordinarily would not allow on television and radio in Ghana being posted on their platform. So, there were so many issues they raised. However, after this January 1, in May, that's May 29, 2024, by then, there was a new minister in the person of Madam Fatima Abubakar. And this is what she also said in May. Broadcasting bill, final drafts ready for cabinet. So on May 29, she visited Ghana News Agency, and Ms. Fatima Abubakar says the final draft of the broadcasting bill is ready for consideration by Parliament. The minister said the Attorney General's office had completed works on the bill following the successful reviews and validation by various stakeholders. Ms. Abubakar gave the update when she paid a working visit to Ghana News Agency in Accra on Wednesday and interacted with the board and management of the agency. She said the revised broadcasting bill, which was drafted in 2012, seeks to provide comprehensive legislation broadcasting services which are regulated by, and aside that, we've also, aside the issue Mr. Kojo Oponkuma raised, if you go into other aspects, there has been some other issues which have been raised, like the power of NMC and NCA. The NCA is responsible for the platform. Then NMC is responsible for the content. But there is that discussion or some argument that now media is merged. So without a platform, you cannot have a content. So they are looking at how to merge or clearly state the power of NMC and NCA in the bill. And there were other issues of not, adding the act which establishes GBC into the bill, but also allow them to stand alone. There has been a lot of back and forth with regards to some legal issues in the bill, but I think that it has kept too much. It has kept long too much. There was a time even Prim Park and other Giba and other people were pushing in July 2024. Were pushing that the bill must be passed because, there's some reports which says that if you look at the proliferation of the media in West Africa, it's like we have most of the media houses in the country. And with that, you need some level of regulations to ensure sanity. But it's like we do not see the urgency in that. We always talk about how people are, practicing some bad journalism and not responsible among others. However, Parliament and those leadership who have the responsibility to ensure that there is a certain regulation are reneging on that duty. And as a country, if we had gone beyond this, I'm not sure even Honorable Sam George would have to, respond to the Nigerian lady, Bimbo. had to respond to her on Instagram. We had moved forward with regards to some of these things. So we need to apply all the seriousness it takes so that as a country we regulate the space.
Right, thank you very much. Mr. Cloud.
Yeah, Andy. If you had a child who went into maybe JSS or JHS, the person would spend 3 years. After 3 years, the person would go to SHS for another 3 years. That's 6 years. And then the person would spend 4 years in university. And then the person will be done. So that's 10 years.
The masters.
Good. Masters if you want to be able to go on. Okay. So what I'm saying here is this. So if you had a child who was in primary 6 and going to first year in junior high, it's the duration that I just calculated is 10 years. The person would have finished the first degree, right?
Yeah.
And we're discussing this thing that started from 2014 and
2012 to 2014.
You let me just focus on the 2014. From 2014 to 2024.
10 years straight.
10 years straight. Talking about revision here and there, and yes, of course, it makes sense that in 2024 there'll be revision. So, are we saying that when something as urgent as the bill needs to be drafted and passed by parliamentarians, etc., we will wait for that duration and not get it done when the thing is actually very necessary and it's urgent? I mean, I think it doesn't. It's unfair to the industry. It's unfair to the industry because 10 years is enough for dreams to be killed. 10 years is enough for people to stop working in that particular space. 10 years is enough for somebody to change their minds about things they want to do in that particular space. 10 years is enough for you to stop investing in that particular space, even if you have the money and you have the will. So what is it that prevents us from getting things done? I don't get it. 2014, is that what, from 2012? Yes, so 2014, then we have to wait. Why do we have to wait? Yeah, because it's some way. I'm just wondering. So can't we just pass the bill into law and then amend when the dynamics of the industry change? Recently, I was listening to something about AI with respect to the copyright laws in UK, and they were talking about amendments, and I'm like, okay, so the foundation is there.
The AI, if they hear the AI now,
2030
that.
But that's the point. That's what I'm saying. You can't stop waiting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stop waiting, because if you are waiting thinking that everything should be perfect, it's not going to be perfect.
Exactly.
You need to set the things in place. The ones that we have right, get that working, and then if there are amendments required after a particular time because the dynamics have changed, indeed change it. But to say we are waiting, Charlie, every time you keep waiting, things will change. And by the time you get back and you're ready to pass the law, you realize that it's not fit for purpose. And for as long as it's not fit for purpose, you want to be able to revise. But the thing is, when we revise, can we just get it done? Like can we just close that chapter? And then, we know, okay, execution is taking place, or implementation is taking place for the benefits thereof to be, received. I think that's the biggest challenge that we have. But let me also put it this particular way. If we are saying the media is a fourth estate, and the media is supposed to, put pressure where it's supposed to put, then what happened during that particular period? 10 years. What did the media do? What did we do?
Maybe we don't like the regulation.
No, but it's also unfair. So in as much as we are complaining that the things were not executed, what did we also do? Now, the general public, or let's just even get to the people within the space, the actors, anybody in the space, screenwriters, producers, directors, whatsoever. What have we also done to ensure that the sector that we represent has been duly taken care of? So I'm thinking that for everything that we complain about, we should also fully take up the responsibility and ensure that we make things happen.
And that even when the bill is passed, it's inures to the benefit of the actors, those in the movie, because it clearly states that, you cannot show foreign content at prime time.
Exactly.
And
so
this means that local platforms will be forced to go for more local content for prime times, and this is putting money into the pockets of those in the film and movie industry.
So Andy, yes, let's blame them for not passing the law. But let's also blame ourselves for not putting pressure or applying pressure. Because government, as I know the people are also responsible for ensuring that the government listens to what is required of the people. And I think that we don't have to, okay, we've discussed it now. Let's not wait till another 4 years only to satisfy ourselves with the blames.
Are you done? the way you paused there.
And so,
Because I wanted your reaction.
And the way you paused there, my self cut like, hey.
Charlie. Charlie, I think 10
Nobody
years. Check. But what have we also done during that particular
That's
period?
why I asked Ola that if there was some sort of pursuance, if there was some pursuit, what happened? What happened?
the advocacy has been low, you know.
Is it partisan?
Even if it's party, Charlie, look, the folks within the space, they all have. Look, John DeMello has got how many followers?
A lot. Millions on Facebook. He has millions.
What's the name? Shirley from Promise's favorite cast, Jocelyn Dumas. Name the list of folks
Prince
within
David
a space.
David
Prince David was said. Name the folks.
But he didn't, maybe.
You see, they have voice. If they speak, it would echo in the corridors of power. So I'm not too sure why this particular thing should be allowed to exist for over 10 years. I think that if we are able to get ourselves together, there's no way the powers out there will not listen to
they
it.
will listen.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that yes, thanks to
Prince
Ola for
David
calling it out, but I think we need to move a step forward.
Prince go.
I mean, Prince David Osei, James Gardner,
he go
Kafui Danku,
Charlie.
You mentioned John Dumelo. These are now
Yvonne Nelson.
Yvonne Nelson.
Prince go apply
These
the
guys
pressure,
have all of these loudmouths.
Charlie.
Okay, not loudmouth.
Mac Brown.
Imagine
Mac
if
Breezy.
they join forces and say, look, enough is enough.
Ejako, Lil Wayne, like name them. Charlie, these are all brands.
And the funny thing too is that they passed the Film Act, and that one too is like they passed the thing, but usage be problem, ensuring the law
George Quay, Fifi Coleman.
The law worked.
Hey, all of these are
Also another problem. So one is passed, one is not passed. The passed one, be like we know they apply. Then the other one too, crowd, we know pass crowd.
I want to mention the last names again. George Quay. Fifi Coleman.
If I did them at top,
Ajeti Anand. All of these guys.
Who else?
Squad.
The ladies.
Shelley Frimpong.
Shelley Frimpong.
Lydia Forson.
Yvonne Okoro.
Oh.
Beautiful Yvonne Okoro.
Charlie. You know, the list is just endless, and these guys are like they have influence. You know, they can get things done.
My guy, Abeku Sego, Mr. Sego, David Donto, Mr. Ajololo.
Let me add
Remember?
folks. Jeffrey Naughty.
You remember Kofi Ajololo?
Jeffrey could go see something, I go forget everything.
Oh, forget.
If somebody bend down small.
He said, Madam, he said, why are you here? Madam, I had come to discuss the film and broadcasting bill.
Turn it back small. No.
Madam, forget about the bill. Let's discuss this.
This is life.
He go switch right now. Oh boy. Listeners, this is a very serious issue. We're just hoping that the new administration will see to it that this is effective.
So the other time, the sponsors were the Ministry of Information and Media Relations. Now it's moved to the presidency, where Honorable Felix Kwachu will now be in charge. I mean, are we going to see the action?
Felix Kwachu.
Yeah, he's the minister responsible for government communication.
Right.
And now the government communication, the duties of the Ministry of Information has been given to the government Ministry of Government Communication. So he supervises all those sectors who were erstwhile under the then Ministry of Information. So the media houses, like the state-owned media houses, all of them, they have, and it was one of the reasons their budgets, their balloon, because I mean it means all the staff of GBC and GNA, all their salaries and other things will be part of their budget. So that's why he had it. So he is responsible for this. So we just hope that.
Who is in charge of the salary?
No, I mean,
no, that one they are now.
No, it's part because before
I just say go cut
the state
plenty.
Oh no, before the state pays you, it has to, like, you have to be under a ministry if you're an agency, so that the ministry's budget captures you, then it comes. So I mean, the controller is there. They will ensure the details and integrity of everything. But
Right.
Charlie, if I did some environmental division or something, or a particular sector that I don't have voice, then I don't have a problem. If it takes 15 years, and say that one you have to lobby. But then, we are talking about people who can literally just type something on their social media platform and all of a sudden everybody is having a conversation about it.
Wait a minute. Wait. This guy, what happened? What happened to him?
Right,
KY. No, there's this actor with Riverman.
Oh, you do it.
Say what?
What's happened?
Yeah, he's passed on.
Oh,
He was a very good actor.
oh,
Some nice guy like that.
okay.
Wow.
I've seen you, KY.
Yeah. May God rest his soul. Oh, I just saw George Quay post it.
Oh,
Unbelievable. Listeners, let's end it. Thanks very much for joining us. We're ending on a sad note. Thanks very much for all your messages, all your comments. Nana Kwesi says, well, for the NDC got absolute majority now. If they care so much like they insinuate, they must do the legalities now, not when it's elections again. Now we are watching. Thanks for coming, Rob. Thank you.
But sweat.
Oh, my friend, get out. Thank you, Adam. Okay. Bosu. Take. And listeners, this is where we ended. Thank you very much for listening.